Welcome back to Morning Footy. Well, there have been plenty of coaching changes in MLS this offseason, and one of the biggest gets by far was executed by the New England Revolution, who hired two-time MLS Cup winning head coach Caleb Porter, who brings with him quite the winning resume. Check this out. As I mentioned, two-time MLS Cup champion with Portland and Columbus, the 2013 MLS Coach of the Year, one of three coaches to win MLS Cup with multiple clubs, and we are absolutely delighted to welcome him on to Morning Footy today. Caleb, Coach, great to see you. How are you doing this morning?
Good guys. Thanks for having me on. It's a bit cold here. I'm scraping the car this morning, but I'm told we have a heated pitch and we're going to be able to still train outside. So
yeah, it's pretty
believe it when I
crazy,
see
to be honest. It's a phenomenal training facility. I mean, you're from Michigan, so you're used to the cold. But Caleb,
exactly.
It came out in the latest podcast that you were experiencing cancer. You had a diagnosis. I was diagnosed with cancer while I was with the New England Revolution. You're in a great place in terms of hospitals. Probably no place better. But what was that experience like for you? Did you just keep it in-house? Did you just only tell your family? Did you tell your friends? And then just how has that changed your perspective on life?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Charlie, and I'm glad that you were able to go through your experience in a positive way as well. These things you don't see coming. Certainly it was life-changing. I'm like most coaches, I don't go to the doctor. So I hadn't seen a doctor, pretty much my whole life. My wife, in the year off, was like, you probably should start to, see a doctor. So I went and got a check, and it came back that I had prostate cancer. So at first, yeah, you're going, okay, wow, what does that mean? And then like anything, you attack it and you fight it. And for me, it was just another fight, along my journey. The great news is I'm good. I'm cancer-free. I've had 2 blood tests, and I'm completely healthy. And I'd say I'm a lot better for it. My perspective on life is better. I'm appreciating everything, more, including my family and my work. Even just being here at my 3rd club, I find myself loving everything just a little bit more. So thanks for asking.
Congratulations. That's obviously
great news.
Yep,
amazing.
absolutely.
Amazing.
My wife is actually a cancer nurse, so I've gotten that experience. I actually went through a cancer scare myself, so I know how difficult that can be, but congratulations for getting to this point, and I hope both of you continue to remain healthy. I want to switch the conversation to soccer a bit. You're taking over a club whose fan base now has a very, very high expectation for this season, had very high expectations for last season, an unfortunate, sort of end to the season for the New England Revolution. Do you think this is a little bit of a higher level of expectation than you faced when you were at Portland or Columbus?
No, because my expectation is the expectation. At the end of the day, you want to be in a club where there's a high expectation. I don't want to go into a club where there's low expectations. For me, I've always wanted to come into a club where there's ambition. And, in Portland, there was ambition. Obviously, in Portland, they hadn't made the playoffs, so there was a different journey there. But I was talking with the team about winning an MLS Cup, even though we hadn't made the playoffs. Columbus had a stronger foundation. They did have an MLS Cup in the past, 15 years prior. They had a strong foundation in place where they were, typically a playoff team. But same thing, I raised the bar immediately to win an MLS Cup. And I believe you have to do that, So in this case, it's no different, And listen, I could come in and have low goals and low standards and slow play it and sandbag the whole thing for a couple years. And, that's just not the way I do things. And I don't take jobs, to sandbag. I don't take jobs to have low expectations. I take jobs to help these players. And I told them yesterday, first day, I'm here to help them win trophies. And I'd love to help them win an MLS Cup. Now, it's not easy. It's going to take time. There's a long process. There's going to be ups and downs. May not happen the first year. Maybe it's the second year. Maybe it's the third year. But ultimately, we have to keep our eye on that. And our vision has to be, there to win that.
Caleb, speaking of good foundations, before everything was derailed at New England last year, it really did feel like they had something special going for them. For you to bring them back to kind of this harmonious momentum, right, that made them such a scary team in the East, does it make it easier for you that they were so recently just there, or is it more of trying to hit a reset button, find the Caleb Porter style from this New England Revolution team?
I mean, you have to be aware of everything that's happened in the past. I think when you're interviewing for these jobs, you need to understand the situation that you're in, and I want to know dynamics. I'm a big group dynamics guy. You know, I believe in the psychology of individuals and also a group, and you know, ultimately that's really important to understand every player, understand the past dynamics for sure, but also we have to turn the page. So there are things that have happened in the past, but I won't spend a lot of time talking about those things, but I do understand some things that I'm going to have to be aware of coming into this job. But by and large, what I've seen from the players is they're extremely hungry, you know, for some new ideas. And, you know, I think they like that I'm coming in here not trying to reinvent everything, blow up things. You know, I'm going to put my twist on things, and I'm going to add, you know, that 15% more, hopefully, that gets us over the top. Definitely we will do things in a different way, for sure, in terms of how we manage, you know, the performance environment, culture, the way I lead, the way I train. There's going to be a lot of new things, but there's not a lot of changes that have to happen within the roster, I don't think.
Caleb, I think the only change is that you won't have Darlington Nagbe by your side, but you do have Carlos Gil, one of the best midfielders, I think, in league history. What do you like about the bones of this club? Because it seems like Kurt Analfo did a pretty good job of mixing experienced players with youth that are coming through the academy. Where do you see this team going, and what are you most excited about?
Yeah, Charlie, like you said, you know, the people here, Kurt and Brian, DeLello, they've done a great job. You know, obviously Chris Tierney, who you know very well. You know, they've done a great job of building this roster. And that's why, you know, 3 years ago they won the Supporters' Shield. And last year they had, you know, everybody thought it was a down year. They had 55 points, and it was the fourth best in club history. Obviously, they tailed off at the end. But it's a very solid and deep roster. You have top players with top talent like Carlos Gil and Giacomo Vrioni and Tomas Chancalay and Dylan Barrero, and there are others. And you have young talents like the kid Ejmir, Bayrak Terovic. You have Jack Panayutu. You have some very talented players in Noel Buck that are young as well. And then you have really solid MLS, I would call MLS solid guys. You know, like Henry Kessler and David Romney and Andrew Farrell. And so I think it's a really good blend of experienced MLS, you know, vets, some young talents, and some top, you know, kind of foreign talents. And so I really like the roster. We do still have some room as well, and I think that's good. You don't want to go into the season without room, and we do have flexibility in the roster to add if we feel we need to add a piece or two.
Well, Caleb, you bring with you such a winning pedigree. You've literally won pretty much everywhere you go at the collegiate level, 2 MLS Cups. This is a club that's never won an MLS Cup, and they're hungry. I'm just saying, it's a point worth making.
You were there. You played there, right?
No, it's a point we're making.
Never won.
But Caleb, I'm just curious, because these are very different teams that you've coached to the highest level, to the ultimate level of success. What's the secret? You know, what is it about your coaching style that has allowed these teams to reach the highest levels of success and go to the very top?
Yeah, it's not about me, you know, it's about we, ultimately. And I don't think there's a magic pill or a, you know, secret sauce. What I would say is I have a way of working, it's clear. I try to attack every single day. You know, I believe that's the edge, you know, and how the performance environment is managed, the details within that, whether it's the sports science, whether it's finding an edge in analytics or scouting. But I think ultimately, you know, I do it for the players, and I think my relationship with the players and my ability to harness the potential of the individuals and the collective group and take them in a direction together to accomplish something that's never been done, I think is ultimately, you know, what my gift is. And so I've been able to do that. There's a lot of things that go into how you do that. And yeah, I feel blessed that I've been able to do that in 2 clubs. And so I'm hoping that I can do that here. I believe that I can. But I'm going to take it day by day. You know, so we set the vision of where we want to be at the end of the year. But we're focused on the day-to-day, getting better, being the best team, you know, every single day in the entire league. Can we be the best team every single day in terms of our preparation, our organization, and our professionalism?
I love that. You're surrounded by a lot of great people in the front office. So I think all around you have a lot of great people that'll help you get there.
And Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We're so excited to watch what you can do with this New England Revolution side, and more importantly, we're just absolutely thrilled that you're healthy. Much continued success and health to you.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the time. Have a great year. Hopefully see you around.
Yes,
Absolutely.
bring it home.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks.